If you're planning your move to Dubai and you're going to be setting up a business to give you your visa, please don't do what I'm going to describe in this video. Now, I want to walk you through a couple of scenarios that I'm seeing more and more of because they're coming up in questions. The first scenario is couple, a married couple. So let's just say Amy and Adam. And in this example, Amy has got a job. So she's going to be employed in a business here in the UAE. Now, let's just say Amy is married to Adam. And let's just say you have kids or you don't have kids. The simple fact that you're married will mean that Adam will also be sponsored for residency visa and his Emirates ID because Amy and Adam are married. If you have kids, your kids are going to get sponsored as well. And this is important because that means that Adam doesn't have to worry about his residency visa or his Emirates ID. He doesn't necessarily have to do anything. He just needs to find a job over here, right? Or he can set up a business if he wants to in order to be able to generate some income. That's not necessarily a problem at all. What is a problem is the other scenario where I'm seeing couples who want to move over here, but they're not married. So Amy has a job, Adam's coming along. He's now asking questions about setting up a business in the UAE. How quickly can it be up and running? How quickly do I think that he can have paid clients, so on and so forth. Now, you can set up a business in the UAE in 2 weeks. It's very, very simple to do. If you're curious about that, you can use the link in the description to chat to my team who set up businesses out here. It's completely free. But the idea of having a business open and ready to go is a completely different idea to actually having a business that is turning over money, that is generating you income. And that's why I feel people are underestimating what things look like here in Dubai. So the example I'm going to use here is the IT space, because this is one that I've seen a lot of people come to me with questions about. Now, you might be in the UK, you might be, say, a cybersecurity specialist or a developer, whatever it might be. And you might be thinking, well, I can come to Dubai, I can set up a business, it shouldn't be too hard to gain clients, right? I mean, the world is big, there's lots of opportunities out there, there should be enough for everyone. And don't get me wrong, there absolutely is enough for everyone. But what you won't know unless you're on the ground here is that the competition here is extremely fierce. And specifically in the IT space, there are lots of Indians working here in Dubai. And not only do you have to compete with them, but you also have to compete with the fact that they've been here for some time, they already have existing relationships, and to be honest, they will undercut you to win business. And so you have to be prepared for those kind of eventualities. It would be a mistake to think you can just come to Dubai, set up a business, and you're going to have clients overnight without any of the hard work that is required. You also have to acknowledge and be aware of the fact that you're going to have to deal with adaptation to the new environment here. Things work very, very differently in the UAE than they do back home. You probably won't have your network, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but your network is going to be key. And I think the biggest risk that a lot of people face when they assume that they can just come over here, build a business, it's all going to be fine, is that it's all going to come easy because you're from the UK. And yes, there is some merit to you having a UK passport or an American passport, but that does not mean that you don't have to deal with the competition. And when the competition are plentiful and they're willing to undercut you and they already have existing relationships and existing network, that is something that you cannot take lightly. So does that mean that you shouldn't make the jump, you shouldn't follow your dreams, you shouldn't follow your gut, you shouldn't chase your ambitions? Absolutely not. So let me give you just a few things that I hope will help you think about this more holistically. The first one is this: the ideal scenario for anyone moving here to set up a business is you moving your existing business with existing clients and existing turnover to Dubai so that you can take advantage of the tax position to build a better life. If you're doing this from scratch, you need to be absolutely certain that this is really what you want to do. Because building a business is no joke. It's no joke in the UK, and it's certainly no joke in the UAE where you don't know anyone, you don't have a network, and you're pretty much new to how things work out here. I don't think you should underestimate that in any given shape or form. Now, for me personally, I've moved my business over here. So my business is a six-figure business. I've moved most of my payments over here. I have clients, so on and so forth. So that puts me in a better financial position. And it puts me in a better financial position over here because at the end of the day, you only pay 9% corporation tax on profits over 325,000 dirhams, which is about 80,000 pounds, which is the same as the VAT threshold back in the UK. Now, when you take money from the business, the money that you take from the business is paid to you free of personal income tax. So if you have an existing business, this makes 100% sense. If you don't have an existing business and it's something that you're going to look to build, you are going to have thick skin, patience, and a level head in terms of the expectations of how quickly you can build for some of the reasons that I've mentioned a little bit earlier on. So the ideal scenario is you have your own business. The other thing to think about here is how can you mitigate the risk and how long is it going to take? Honestly, if I had to put, just a guess out there, I would not be advising, advocating, or saying that anyone should move here just starting out a business if you do not have 1 year's worth of expenses ready for you to use. And when I say 1 year's expenses, I'm talking that has to include your monthly rent and obviously your living cost as well. And if you're from the UK coming to Dubai, you're going to have a bit of a nasty shock when it comes to the cost of living out here. Some things are expensive, others aren't. It really depends on how you live and how you choose to spend your money, but it can be a little bit of a shock to the system. But ideally, you're going to need about 12 months worth of expenses, so a nice sum of money set aside for you to be able to do this properly. The other thing I'm going to mention is this, and this goes back to the first scenario where you have a married couple, Amy and Adam. Amy has a job. Yes, Adam gets sponsored because they're married, and therefore your kids get sponsored. But I want to drive this point home, and I mentioned this in this video right here. If you've not watched it, you should go and watch it. You need to remember that you moving here for a job does not give you security. You still have a probation period to work through. That's 6 months. So you need to be thinking worst case scenario. What happens in Amy and Adam's place or instance where they've moved the entire family, including kids, the whole kid and caboodle, but Amy doesn't pass her probation period. If she doesn't pass her probation period, her workplace visa, her residency visa, Emirates ID, medical insurance, everything gets cancelled. So now Amy, Adam, and the kids, if they have kids, are now going to be in a position where they have to think about, can they remain here? And again, this is where having a lump sum of cash available is going to save your skin if you want to remain here and you're adamant you don't want to go back to the UK. These are really important things. But from point of starting a business, please do not think that you can just come here, build a business, and it's just going to be there overnight. It's hard work here. People work extremely long hours. And I'll mention this again for, in Amy and Adam's circumstance where Amy's employed, your employers are essentially sponsoring you to be here. So they want their pound of flesh. People do not work 7-8 hours a day here. People work long hours here. And I think for people who move here, working for a business, that sometimes can be a bit of a shock to the system because it is very, very work oriented. And if it's like that from an employee point of view, what do you think it's going to be like from a business point of view? Hugely competitive, very, very fast paced. You need to have your wits about you. So ideally, like I've already said, you want to be in a position where you're moving to Dubai, set up a business, but you're setting up a business that already has clients, already has turnover, already is generating enough income to support your lifestyle. Not building something brand new out here that you hope is going to work. You need to be prepared, you need to have the financial resources. That's just my thoughts. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. If you're not already joined the Telegram group, by all means, the link is in the description down below. If I can help, if I can connect you with people, I will absolutely do so. My network is relatively small at the moment, but as I continue to be here and I start to build my network, I'll have more people that I can actually introduce you to, so on and so forth. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Catch you later on.